Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Anime Watch Club, a bi-weekly group discussion and review where the hosts of What You Say Anime podcast nominate and vote on shows either we haven't seen or shows that will hopefully lead to a great discussion. On today's episode, the We're Holding the Yogurt, So We're Crying Crybabies of the What You Say Anime podcast. We'll be reviewing the 2024 anime Girls Band Cry. Let's meet today's members. He's first up, so he gets to pick. Kat, if you were isekai'd into this show, which girl would you choose to be?
Mm. God, that is a hard question, actually.
Easy question.
Probably Arwa. Probably Subaru, excuse me. Just because drummer,
Rich.
That's the reason.
Yeah.
Okay. Correct answer, Kat. That was an actual answer. So you get to pass and you get to join us on the podcast for getting the correct answer. Our first moderator tonight, he gets an intro. So Kat had girl. Pat, you get band. Which band would you rather join? Diamond Dust, Togenashi, Togeari, or the Kasoku band from Bocchi the Rock?
I guess Diamond Dust so I can make bank.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Money is a great motivator in life. It's unbelievable.
It really is. And our second moderator tonight, he gets cry. Miles, what was the last thing to make you cry?
I read a children's book to Cooper. It was called How to Befriend a Ghost, and it's about a small child that befriends a ghost, and then you see the child grow up throughout her entire life and then die and become a ghost and still get to be friends with it, and it just made me really sad.
Damn.
Yeah. How come I don't get any money?
Oh, sorry, man.
Okay.
Capitalism. Someone's got to be poor in order for them to be rich. So
damn,
that's how it works.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, not your story, Miles. That was really sad. That made me want to cry almost. That's a really sad story.
That's such a
Why
good
are you reading a
anime.
child that?
Well,
there's also Summer Ghost.
I think
that's not a good story.
It is
not,
really helpful because the person gets a friend for their entire life and then they get to be with their friend after they die. So it's nice in that, but I don't know, it just kind of reminded me of I'm gonna get old, I don't know. It's
No, I didn't mean for you to delve into it. I was just like, wow, that's advanced reading for Cooper. I mean, good for him.
Well, we haven't read it to him yet, but we Kayla picked it up in Salem and stuff. So I read it and it made me think about how Kayla is my life partner and we're gonna grow old and the whole thing. But let's talk about Girls Band Cry.
Yeah. Fuck talking about your wife and all the people that matter in your life and make you happy. Let's talk.
I'm not
CGI
here to,
women.
I'm not here to cry. I'm here to Girls Band. Pat, tell us about the show with your normal intro.
Yeah, it was weird not going last too and actually getting an intro. That was fun. I kind of wish I got them more often, honestly. But that's okay. I'll survive without them. We do all want things. We both want money, apparently. So,
yeah. Well, I just want to play drums, dude.
Fair enough. But yeah, all right. We watched Girls Band Cry. This aired very recently, actually, this past spring of 2024. Done by Studio Toei, one of the oldest studios, I think, in the anime space that's still running. Genres of drama, and I can't believe music isn't considered a genre, but it's a theme. It's the genre of being a band. It's a band show. So, done fully in 3D animation, basically, as well. Maybe not fully, but for the most part, you'll see what I mean. It's Land of the Lustrous, but with girl band vibes, I guess. So yeah, Miles, why don't you do your first impressions and whether you recommend it or not?
Yeah. So I nominated this because someone joined our Discord and their name was Watch, Bang Dream, My Go, and Girls Brand Cry. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm here to please the people. But I guess I didn't really know what to expect from it. I had heard a bit from people on our Discord who really like it. And I gotta say I was really pleasantly surprised. I really liked the show a lot more so than any of the other sort of girl band shows I've watched in my life. Not all of which I've even disliked, but this is definitely my favorite out of that sort of genre, um, you can check out our Bang Dream episode to see what we all thought of that. Um,
You don't have to. You don't have to check out that episode.
Please check out the episode.
or I think I was the highest on it, and I gave it a 6. But would I recommend this? Like, yeah, I think it's really, I don't know if we've ever done 2 shows that I thought were at least, like, thematically as similar as Blue Giant and this, like, back to back. Like, there are definitely differences in the shows, but the 2 musical groups go through, like, a lot of very similar things, and, there are things that I think this does better than Blue Giant, and there were some things that I thought Blue Giant did better than this, but I sort of think they're both just really solid music anime, and, I'm excited to talk about it. I would recommend this. I think anyone can sort of watch this if you enjoy a drama, you know?
There you go. All right. Kat, what about you?
Yeah, this show is a treat. When it was first airing, I was watching it weekly. This is one of the shows that I tuned in for the day of, no matter what. And I just I love the characters. I love the music in it, and the I thought the CGI was actually really really well done. Not as good as Land of the Lustrous because that's like peak CGI for me personally, but this is definitely like this is definitely a recommend for most people because it's not just a normal like what's that? It's not like it's not technically like K-On! Type of show. It's more real, I guess you could say, like with the drama and the issues that go on in it. I would absolutely recommend it to most people. And yeah.
I think what helps it make it feel more real is the fact that they like live on their own and they're like adults essentially. I mean, obviously some of them are still at the tail end of the high school age, but they are practically living on their own and doing this to survive, not just because it's a fun little club for them to do at their school music festival. I thought that that was a really nice aspect. I would have probably liked the show significantly less if that's how it was, which I'm pretty sure that's what Kaon is like, correct? Is it there?
Chaos like a slice of life music.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even like it is like that. They're in a club
Yeah.
after school, and they don't really go like big time or anything. But it's like a Euro camp, but instead of going camping, they play music.
100%.
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah. So I would have hated that. I like Eurocamp, but I would have disliked that a lot more than I liked this. But yeah, Pete, what about you?
So this is my rewatch. The first time that this was airing, this was getting a lot of hype, and I checked it out, and like I wasn't really sold after like the first episode, but I can tell you the exact moment that Girls Band Cry sold me. I believe it's episode 2. It's when Nina gets the lamp, and she starts swinging it at that dude that's telling her to shut up, and then she's like, "No, fuck you! I got this lamp, motherfucker!" And starts like swinging at him. I'm like, "Oh, okay, no, this is lit. Like this is awesome." That's when it hooked me, and then I haven't seen My Go, but like a lot of people compare this to like My Go, and it's like a different style of like the girls doing the music thing, where we have, like you said, K-On! And like Bochi, which is more of like the fun, happy side, and then My Go and Girls Band Cry having a little bit more stakes, a little bit more drama. Nothing like crazy, but like chasing your dreams and stuff like that has roadblocks in your life with like financial stuff, like we see that in this. But like I like that representation. I like the mix of having something like Bochi and having something like Girls Band Cry to like contrast it. And this show is great. Would I recommend it? I wouldn't give it 2 thumbs up. I would give it 2 pinkies up. I would absolutely recommend Girls Band Cry.
Hold up my broken pinkies from years of goalkeeper abuse. Yeah, I would also recommend this wholeheartedly to pretty much anyone. I think, like Miles said, if you like drama, you'll like the show. Uh, and it obviously it has a huge focus on the music, but not in a way that would be, I guess, boring for someone who doesn't like it or isn't as interested in it. Like the technicalities, because they do it. They go into it a tiny bit every once in a while, but it's never. It's more that's more to drive the plot than it is to really get into the technical side of things, I guess. I I thoroughly enjoyed this show. so much more than I really expected to. I had a good feeling going into it since it was described again much more like Land of the Lustrous or a show along those veins, especially with the 3D more so than not that, which usually bothers me a lot. The animation, I got used to it very quickly in this show, and I gotta give them a lot of credit. They did a very good job. There were still a couple janky moments and weird stuff that I'm sure we'll talk about. And at the end of the day, would I have preferred if it was all 2D? Yes, but it didn't nearly detract the way I would have feared it would have just off of someone describing it to me, if that makes sense. I would, yeah, fully recommend this show. I really look forward to talking about it. But yeah, all right. Well,
Yeah,
that's 8 pinkies up
8 fingers up.
from
Hey,
out
pinkies up.
8 pinkies up from the boys for Girls Band Cry. Go give it a look and avoid spoilers. Pause us, come back to us, join the Discord to talk to us about it. Six plus
Sick plug,
I
Pat.
ruined it. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks, Pat. But yeah, let's get right into the spoilers then. Give people plenty of time to get away. Miles, you have a first talking point that you want to lead us off with?
Yeah, I'm going to establish our setting, really quickly. So the show follows Nina, who is a 17-year-old student who is moved out on her own after a unknown incident from school, where it sort of seems like she was a bit of a troublemaker, but maybe she was getting bullied. There's sort of some injustice going on, and you find out more about that later. She meets Momika, who was the former lead singer of her favorite band, Diamond Dust. Um, but Diamond Dust has since moved on from Momika and vice versa. It was sort of a mutual parting because Momika was like, I don't want to sell out. And they were like, we do. Um, we,
We want the
uh,
bag. Sorry.
yeah, like
Right.
we're really just trying to get the bag. Um, and then they sing her songs anyway. And so she forms a friendship with Momika and they start a band and they meet three other members throughout the course of the show, and they sort of start a band to like rival Diamond Dust a little bit, and they try to keep it real, and it's about the struggles of that whole sort of scenario. So I think the first thing that I wanted to talk about really quick was just sort of go over some of these themes and stuff. So if people watched our Blue Giant episode, I thought a lot of things were pretty similar in like theming. So I want to know if like anyone else like picked anything else up. Like some similarities. I was thinking of like Tomo. Um, in some ways was similar to like the drummer. Tomo was like very musically gifted, and that drummer wasn't. But they both had like this thing with wanting to like take things seriously, having issues finding that in the past, and everything. So like you know the theme of like what you need to do in order to like make music like a lifestyle, the amount of commitment you need to give to that, I thought was like a good theme. And that's sort of like a grounding aspect of Girls Band Cry that I really enjoyed, was how seriously everyone needed to take this to try to make it work. They had to, you saw everyone's personal lives suffer in one way or the other because of the commitment, to this. And that was similar to what we saw in, Blue Giant. So I thought those were similar themes. Is there anything else you guys noticed? Any differences? I just figured since we were doing these two musical shows back to back, we should compare and contrast a teeny bit before we get on to just the show.
Yeah,
I mean,
probably a good idea, right? Doesn't that
Yeah.
make sense to do that? Yeah.
yeah.
Look at you putting in the work. I like it. I don't know if you guys don't mind, I can go first on this one because this is actually a talking point I wanted to talk about anyways as well. Um, I really related to Nina's arc, maybe not arc, but more like her backstory and her uh like the main motivating factor in my life beyond sustaining myself is making my family proud and like living up to what my family wants me to do or achieve and making like that is by far like food maybe number 1, but number 2 is it's right there and maybe even more so sometimes than food. So I cannot uh cannot say enough good things about that arc. I thought they did a really good job too of not just painting her parents as villains or as bad people. I think that because a lot of shows would end up doing that. I think with that kind of arc, or like the pressure. It wasn't that at all. They even supported her pretty well in the bullying situation too. They were trying to make things right. They were trying to not make her an outcast by like completely, laying the hammer on the bully and just trying to find a middle ground so that she could get back to normal. A lot and of course she perceived it as negativity, but she still never was like outwardly like, "Oh, I hate my parents," either or anything like. I think that was a very relatable thing for me at least, where it was like, God, I struggled in at certain points in school and growing up, but like I knew that that my parents were there for me, and that even though there's that pressure and that need to perform for them and everyone else in my family as well to make them proud, like they still loved me and supported me no matter what decision I made or what I ended up doing. So I related really really well to Nina, which is it was nice because she was the lead character as well. So it was very like hammered home a lot. And I thought they did a beautiful job with that.
Well, shit, how am I
Me-
gonna follow that up? I was gonna make a joke, and then Pat's like, "I'm gonna go sentimental," and I'm like,
I-
"No, that was really good." No, because
Yeah.
because I get
I
it.
was
Because,
also gonna make a joke.
well, like there's shows that like you don't really expect to like gravitate towards, and then you see something like this, it's like, oh yeah, this was like so well done. I also like the fact that like how they found like Nina at her job, that they reference that her dad is like a world-class researcher. And so I was like, oh, I bet like he could just find Nina wherever because he's so smart. I like that little nod. But one thing I wanted to compare it to with Blue Giant, since I was drawing those comparisons, where in Blue Giant the drummer just kind of like picks up drumming, where like sometimes you just find inspiration from anywhere. And he's playing on this little like Coke can, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna be a drummer. I can be competitive and serious and drumming. And then Band Girl Cry didn't really have that, but it had something that I thought was really interesting. It's where like bands find inspirations for like their band name. They had such a hard time finding a band name. And like Led Zeppelin thought that their career was going to crash like a Led Zeppelin, so they called themselves Led Zeppelin. Like that's just how they came up with the name. And this is like, how do they come up with a band name? They just read a T-shirt. like I was just like, I love that. I was like, sometimes it's as easy as that. Why did I pick the name What Do You Say Anime? Because it rhymed. That's literally that simple. I didn't brainstorm any, or it had like the whatever. What's it called? What Do You Say Anime? Whatever.
Yeah, that rhymed. I was just
Yeah.
doing it in my head.
But like it's like that simple, where it's like I didn't brainstorm names for like the pocket pad. It's not that serious, my man.
How does it
Say May. So say the syllable, May
What
the
do you
syllable.
say anime?
Anime.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I understand. All right. Well, I was also going through like figuring out a name for myself very recently, so it was like
Yeah.
weird. Like I was like the thought
This
process.
scene is going to be
Well,
in our anime when it
yeah.
gets produced. Us figuring out if our name runs
Well,
5 years into the podcast.
A plus B. Yeah, but like that little thing was just like, yeah, it's just sometimes it's just as simple as you read it off of a T-shirt. Yeah, like my gamer tag is based off of a song. It's just like it's that simple. Like I didn't think too hard about it. I liked it, and that's what it is. So I gotta give props. I really like that scene where they came up with the band name.
What song?
It's called "Don't Sweat the Technique."
Yeah.
It's like a rap
I'm
song from the '90s.
showing
Rakim
my
and
age here.
Eric,
Here we go.
Yeah.
it's a great rap song. You should check it out. Don't sweat the
Yeah.
technique. Don't sweat the technique.
My
It's
whole
in
name is
pretty
based
much-
on a poem.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like it's. I don't know. It just I for some reason I thought that scene was just really fun. I was like, oh, I like that a lot because they're the Shin Kawasaki or whatever that they were coming up with is just like it's just like your name or their city that they're from. 2. It's the sequel. It's like, sure, everyone's like, this is terrible. Let's be something else. Then she hijacks and steals the T-shirt name. So, props to Girls Band Cry for that scene. I loved it.
For me, the biggest, I think the biggest comparison is, two of the characters in both Girls Band Cry and Blue Giant almost get hit by trucks.
one
Except
of the
for one
characters,
actually did.
yeah, one he didn't almost get hit by a truck.
No, he got hit
Um,
by a truck, and the only thing that got fucked up was his arm. So,
his eye.
yeah, and his eye. But he was able to play. He's fine.
Yeah, he was not good.
That truck scene was
Yeah.
wild. Like, I was
It's
like, no
insane.
way. Like, what's about to happen? And then
That
this like
yeah.
cartoonish spin
Yeah.
out. Like, all right, cool, fine. I didn't mind it. I was just kind of like, what the hell?
Yeah,
Like,
that was like genuinely something that I think Girls Band Cry did like a little bit better than Blue Giant. Was it like never had like an over dramatic scene like that car crash scene? Because like even though that ended up working out at the end, I think we all agreed that it was like a little what the fuck like right when it
Yeah.
happened. I think Girls Band Cry did like a very good job of like staying like
Grounded.
yeah like in this like level of what feels realistic for these people to be going through given like that scenario. And then I also liked, and this is a tough thing and I can see going either way, but like with the CG, I liked that they just committed to it and made it as good as they could, as opposed to Blue Giant, which I found it like more jarring in that, because you would go from these absolutely beautifully animated scenes to janky CG. Not to say like it wasn't worth it, because the animation in Blue Giant is absolutely insane when it's good, right? But like I do think that the decision to keep it just at like a steady rate here was pretty good, especially for like this show. So Pat jumped the gun, but I kind of like that because I think it shows how great these characters are. And so like another thing that I wanted to talk about was just like our like our five main girls. Was there a girl whose story you gravitated to, like Pat gravitated towards Nina. And there's more I want to talk about Nina's art because I just think there's a lot of amazing stuff in there. So if it's also Nina for you, let me know, um, why, even if it's similar, or was there like anyone else, that you sort of wanted to that you related to, wanted to shout out.
I don't want to say I don't think I like gravitated towards like a character, but I would say I gravitated more towards the cast themselves. Just
Yeah.
like as a whole, like their friend group when they became who they were towards the end. I think like that's more like what I was looking for because yeah, like what Pat said with Nina, like I get it, but like it's not to the same level that Nina or Pat was going through. Momo, like not really. Subaru, I don't have a grandmother who's an actress and stuff like that, and I'm not talented like Tomo, and I'm not Brazilian like Rupa. So like it was hard to find something like I could connect to one, but like as a friend group, as a core group, with their different personalities, but like coming together and making it work, that's kind of like us. So like I relate to that. So I really enjoyed that.
I kind of gravitated towards Rupa when it comes to like person wise, because the thing about it is like I have an issue where like if I don't talk to somebody for a long time, I either forget about them or I'm worried that they have died. And it's no in between. So like having to for me having to jump the gun and wanting to say, okay, I'm sorry, let's not fight, let's not be quiet for a while, let's go ahead and hash this out. I don't want to deal with something that may come later. And the scene where Rupa is talking to Nina and just says, you need to talk to them because I thought I had time. And
Yeah, that was tough.
yeah, that was like, oh God, my anxiety has has roots now. um, and it like especially because like and even recently, like I've had like my mother-in-law just got into an accident, and my aunt literally just got diagnosed with cancer. Like it's rough, and knowing that that's a thing, like that hit me so hard. Like after that scene, I literally called up my grandma, my granddad, my mom, I called most of my family to let them know I loved them. Uh, and somebody thought that I was about to die.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, that like Rupa is definitely who I relate to, not just because she's dark again. But yeah.
Yeah, no, like I think that,
Let
there
me
was
say
a
this really heartfelt thing, and then make a joke about skin color. Like,
Well, they had like a discrimination scene in the show, which
Yeah,
that caught me
yeah, it
off
did.
guard a little bit. I was like, oh my god.
I
what
was
it
when I
discriminate?
Yeah,
that was
she.
absolutely
yeah,
discrimination.
because
He
the guy
calls her a
calls her, like,
foreigner. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's like, yeah.
Oh yeah, I
'Cause
guess they did do that. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I was like thinking that was more just like the classic like oh businessman being an asshole to a waiter or a waitress thing.
It was that plus the racism.
Yeah,
Plus,
like,
it
I
didn't even it
it was
didn't.
racist.
like it's like going to my hometown and going to that one diner that you're not supposed to go to if you look like me. So it's one of those things.
Yeah, no, I mean, I actually, like, I really liked that scene. I liked how Rupa didn't get, like a big deep dive, but there was enough scenes when she is supporting other characters that you learn about her backstory and who she is and, like, why she is the way she is. And I thought that was great, where I feel like a lot of times in anime, every character gets, like, a 15-20 minute flashback, where
Before they die.
well, yeah, before they die, and also, like, to learn about why they're sad, you know? Um, like, that scene would have happened, and then we would have, like, flashed back to, like, her moving to Japan for the first time or whatever, or something like that, and, you explain all of the discrimination she's faced, but, like, they didn't need to do that. You saw the one scene, you get that. You learn that she's lost her family, they don't need to dive into it. And, like, I think that let Nina's main story, like, have enough time to breathe, and then but while successfully rounding out, Rupa or whoever. I think Nina had great interactions with basically, like, every character. Like, I loved Tomo just being like, "You suck. You're so bad at guitar. Um, like, you can't play on stage right now," and, like, getting fed up with that, Um, like, having a bit of a perfectionist streak on certain things, I sort of get that general anxiety that they were, like, both going through, where you want to be really good at something, and then, like, also, if you're judging someone, you, like, don't wanna discourage them, but also you want to tell them that they suck so that they know, because you would want to know if you sucked. Um, so I liked that. Pat, I really agree with you, and I think I wrote this in the notes. I really liked the way that, like, Nina and her dad reconciled, where she realized that even if he didn't maybe handle it perfectly, her dad did care about her and was trying to help her. And, you could see she was, like, surprised about that. But what I really liked about Nina is she was willing to, if she thought she was, like, unfairly treated, given new information, she was willing to reconsider that, basically.
Get
Like, she,
over it.
yeah,
To put it bluntly, yeah, like she did a really good job of just taking information and then processing it, which was interesting because at the beginning of the show, I almost I almost think the show starts worse than it ends. Like for me at least it did, because like I got the oh I'm leaving the band bit got kind of old for me very quickly when they did it like 10 times in the first like 5 episodes with different characters for the most part too. Like I was kind of just like all right, this joke is, or no, I don't know, and obviously it wasn't always a joke. It was part of the drama of the show, but it was just like, all right, guys, can we like find a new angle or something like at certain points?
I sort of agree with, like, the leaving the band thing. It happens, like, 3 times in, like, the first 4 episodes. The last time being Subaru, in that thing where she's like, "Oh, I can't do it," but she was just, like, trying to hide from, like, her grandmother or whatever, because she didn't wanna tell her that she didn't wanna be an actress. And, I think that's another pretty relatable theme, even if none of us, sort of pick that. The familial pressure to do a certain job or be in a certain profession, follow in a line of some sort, was good. And then that's another example of Nina, I think, having her expectations on people's motivations a little thing. Like when she learns why the grandmother wanted Subaru to be an actress, it's because Subaru at one point wanted to be an actress. um, so she wasn't like pressuring her into it. From her understanding, that's what Subaru wanted to do. you know? And so it really wasn't this injustice that it was, that Nina was imagining because of her own, sort of experiences. Um, but yeah, I guess I really love all of the characters. I think they're great.
I I think something Pete touched on a little earlier too was like their dialogue between each other. They all interact pretty well together. Like they have good little witty banter. I think I commented on this in the in our Discord, which again, join the Discord. The dialogue and the way that they like do those little like moe moments where they like, oh haha, hit each other, or like flip each other off, not well with pinkies or anything else, like those little typical like moe or like fan servicey moments. They don't take up an entire scene. They don't fill up an episode. They just happen throughout in the background, or happen as like vessels of the plot as well, which I thought was so nice and refreshing, because every other part of this genre does it horribly, in my opinion, or annoyingly to me at least. Where I think something else I've complained about, like, oh, when one character says something, every other person in the band has to react to what they said with their own one line or witty thing. This show may do that, but it does it quick, or it shows their personality. It shows the way that they talk to each other, each individually in their little like Venn diagrams of each other. I thought they did an excellent job with that in this show. Um, I it kept me watching, like, coming back quickly. I just could not put it down, because I really enjoyed the dialogue, the character growth that they showed as they became closer friends as well. I thought they did a really good job there.
Yeah.
Great. That does bring me to like another thing that I wanted to talk about is like how the show, I guess, from my limited view of like other girls band shows like K-On!, Bocchi the Rock, Bang Dream, or like idol shows, like the Love Live first season or something, and even something like Zombieland Saga. Um, I felt the show sort of differentiated itself in like a way that made it feel very fresh. Had a, like a little more bite to it. The spirit of rock and roll was like a little alive. They were trying to fight against the system, um, in like a relatively unique way, in my opinion. Like I can't imagine, the Love Live girls flipping someone off or whatever, like Momoko does. You know,
Yeah.
um,
Right off the bat, too, that was
yeah,
great. That
that
was
was.
so funny.
I mean, talk about a tone setter at the end of episode 1 where they just steal those people's gear and start performing.
Yeah.
Like, and they're like, okay, we'll just play along with you, I guess. you know, and like that spot where they were like, panhandling or whatever it is, the thing where you perform. But I guess, do you guys like? Did you like the tone of the show? Were there any moments that stood out? I think Pete sort of maybe touched on one. Um, Earlier, and do you thought it was, you don't necessarily need to like it more or anything, but do you think it's like a fresh thing on the general idea of girls make band and play music?
Miles, I was gonna say, stop dancing around it. Just say the thing that you're thinking, which I'm thinking as well. This is better than Bocchi the Rock, and just say
I
it.
mean,
You know,
I
just
think
say it.
that
It's
I
okay.
do think it. I think it's better than Bocchi the
All
Rock.
right, hold up, motherfuckers.
No, I was gonna say, Pete, you can go
I
next, but I just had to, like, come on, Miles, like, let it out, let it out, let the what is it, the Hitler flow through you, I guess, in this case, right?
Whoa.
Like,
Out of context, yes.
out of context, yes. Okay,
For
very
people
clearly
who
that's
need the context, I gave Bocchi the Rock the disgustingly low score of an 8 out of 10.
Spit on you.
And Pete has been calling me Hitler for
That's
it
true.
ever since.
That's true. I think you mentioned the show that I think I would compare it the most to is, well, I haven't seen My Go. Everybody says My Go is like Girls Band Cry. So when I get to it, but a Zombieland Saga where, Girls Band Cry, the overarching story is like a drama centered around a band, but they have their quirky moments. They had the Nina shooting the lamp. They had the snake running around the house. They had these like fun, quirky moments that you have outside of playing music with a band. And Zombieland Saga did the same thing, where that was refreshing because like it's the joke of like idols being like zombies, but then you had like someone like Lily who was like you see her backstory of being like a trans person and stuff like that, and it's like you can still touch on drama elements, whether it's the level of drama varies, but like you can have that and be silly and quirky and have a great time. And that's why like I loved it. It was like a great mix where I think it's nice to have the contrast though, where you have something like Bochi, which is like 95% quirky, 5% serious. Then you might have a show that's like 95% serious and 5% quirky. And then you have something like Girls Band Cry, which is like, I don't know, 65-35 or something, where it's like it's nice to have those range of like what you prefer in this medium, and then but they can all be great in their own way. So shout out to Girls Band Cry for like handling the topics that they did. Like it wasn't super heavy, but it was like it was good drama, but also having when you have fun characters and you put them in fun situations, I have fun watching the show. And that's what we got.
Shout out them for not being Bang Dream, basically.
So what we're saying is fuck Bang Dream.
Yeah, like in 30 seconds or less. Yeah, no.
We'll watch My Go eventually, but
I agree with your Zombieland comparison. I think that's probably why I liked it so much, right? Like every scene that happens for a reason. There's no like forgotten storylines. There's no, oh, one time they reference that they have a snake and then they don't talk about it ever again. Like, no, that the lizards are like part of Tomo's life and personality. It causes tension with Momoka. Like there's always a purpose for everything that happens on the screen, which is just a testament to the good story writing, good planning, good direction, all of those things that uh, Zombieland Saga, in my eyes, also had. So I think that's a really good point. Sorry, Kat, did I cut you off?
No, but I really enjoyed it. And on the subject of the comparison of Bochi, I still have Bochi at a 10, but like this show might be better than it.
Yes.
So
Yes, that's a W. We'll take that.
it's a hard comparison, but this is definitely in my top shows.
They're both great shows. Like
they are. Like Bochi's out of 10, bro. Like
yeah,
they're not both 8 out of 10s. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I guess like what I like about this more than I like about Bochi is that everyone in this show feels so real to me. You have people that are exhibiting similar things to like why people connect with Bochi, right? Like her social anxiety and like general anxiety and her other types of anxiety.
her anxiety in general.
And her anxiety about her anxiety.
Her anxiety about her depression as well.
And as someone who's a very anxious human being, I guess except for socially, I guess I just like attached to Nina more, like the quiet rage she has with like the lines and stuff I thought was done like very well. The fact that she was like anxious in all of these situations, like when she saw Hina and she was like freaking out about that and like worrying about it and all that stuff, like, it reminds me of what anxiety is like for me, right? Like there's like these pervasive invasive thoughts and everything. And then also I liked that Nina's anxiety was sometimes founded not in reality, because that's like how it goes, I guess. Like you worry about stuff that isn't, it's not real, but you make mountains out of molehills and stuff because you're so worried and concerned about that. Like a thing I thought was interesting was because we're seeing so much of this from Nina's perspective, I think we're often, they do the subversion of expectations thing, but like good. I know some people like don't like that. But something as far as like even Momika just more or less being okay with the decision she made and not hating Diamond Dust the way that Nina did to start off with was something that, I think Nina was expecting, and therefore me and maybe other viewers were expecting Momika to be hiding something, like hiding those feelings, suppressing those feelings, because Nina was suppressing feelings. And so she was expecting Momika to be doing that. Like just these interactions and how they play off of each other, I thought was fantastic. I don't know. I really like the show. I think it's good, and the interactions are just everyone just feels very human and not like anime characters. And while I love anime characters, it is refreshing to get characters that aren't cookie cutter tropes like we see sometimes.
All right, let's talk some shit about this show. What have we got? Anybody?
CGI.
It's been too positive.
The
Yeah,
CGI
no,
is
I like
great.
it. Bring it up.
There
I
are
agree
still
that
moments where it's a little weird. Like it
Oh,
is good,
I
100%.
am
it's really good for CGI. There's like one specific scene that I just saw that I wish I had like a screen recording thing for. It's when she's like standing in the rafters about to watch a show. It pans to like have her, her being Nina, by the way, her like standing in the watching the crowd, and the crowd goes from CG looking a certain way to CG looking a different way. You know, like I guess performance CG or whatever, and it was very weird. It was so jarring because it's like right in the middle of the screen that it happened, so I just noticed it. And the other main thing that I had to complain about with the CGI, because like they really did a good job of making them emotive, and they walk funny, but like that's just CG, you know, like they can only do so much. They walk less funny than normal CG, I will say. The big thing for me though was when they did those performances where they would, and I think this is a good comparison to Blue Giant as well, where Blue Giant, I do think I complained a little bit about the CG in the performances, but one of the things that they did well was when they had like their characters almost like superimposed into the crowd or like over the crowd and like things moving around on the screen. I was not as impressed by, I guess just in general, the performances in this show, in Girls Band Cry, as I was
Yeah.
Blue Giant. Like they felt very static with even with the CG like shimmying around that they do. They felt very and I didn't like how it looked sometimes too when they were like I said, like superimposed over the crowd or like fading in and out like opacities, you know. I don't know if I'm describing that correctly, but like that was honestly probably the show's weakest point for me, probably is the performances, like because everything else felt so good to me.
that's
Yeah, it's
interesting.
hard to beat Blue Giant's performances because they like went into fucking space and like a black hole formed in behind them and like it felt like I was like on happy acid or something. Like it
That's
was just
fair.
unfucking believable.
And that's not to
Um,
say anything about the music either. Just like the animation of the performances.
yeah. I
Sure.
thought the music was really good. I enjoy. I mean, I'm sort of like a alt rock kind of guy, and that sort of feels like the general vibe of what was being performed here.
New Age Dad Rock.
Yeah.
You got a problem with Dad Rock?
Yes.
I
Yeah, I
guess
do.
like Blink 182 is dad rock now, right? Like,
It is. It's
Probably.
yeah, yeah,
absolutely is.
yeah.
Oh my.
Like it's not
Um,
probably about it. They're all dads and they make the sounds for new age dads. That's
yeah,
dad rock.
That's why I said
yeah.
probably.
You know what? I went to a Say Anything show with Jay like a couple months ago, and like Max Bemis, who's the lead singer, changed some of the lyrics to like be about being a dad now. So like, yeah, never mind, it's over.
It's Jover.
It was a little more metal to me than like rock at times too, I thought.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
maybe
there
that's
was
why
like
I didn't love it.
a little bit of that, but like, I don't think it's like it's not like Metallica or something, right?
Mhm.
Like it's like
Yeah.
a little. It kind of reminds me of like what Azalea did in
That's what
Evil
I thought
Kong.
too.
Yeah, which is maybe like a little like Avenged Sevenfoldy is what I always think of when I think of like Azalea's
That's for
songs.
Kongming for people who don't know.
Yeah, pre.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so pre before they were like bad, like because they learned to do their own thing, but like got way worse at music because of it.
Yeah.
Um, and it's my only problem with Kongming is the show. Um, but it's sort of like I still think it's like sort of like an alt rock, but maybe like a little heavier. I don't know. I don't know what music is.
I don't know what music is. That's funny that you brought that up, Pat, with like the colors and shit that they were doing with like the camera work while they're doing their performance. Because if I had to pick like my favorite performance for Girls Band Cry is episode 11, and I would put that up with a Blue Giant performance, because not only just in terms of the animation, but I really enjoyed how it was the song that Nina wrote based off of the feedback that Momo gave her. and the lyrics to the song were sort of like everything that Momo was saying to her to put it into her own song. And so, like, I think maybe some of the elements of visually may put people's performance up, but I thought just the actual performance with like everything that went together and the lyrics made that performance incredible. Also, the warm up scene before the festival was so sick. The Suzuka drum thing and then the bass were just kind of like, it got like the people that were like walking by the stage. It's like, oh, yo, hold up. Like, these girls kick ass. Like, I loved how they set up episode 11's performance. Just, I really, really enjoyed it. It's probably my favorite scene in the entire show.
The setup was really good. I think maybe I can put it this way because I think I thought of a better way to phrase it. Like, I almost forgot that this show was CG at times
Oh,
when I
sure.
was watching it, and then the performances would come in and just slap you in the face over and over again with how CG they were. And that's not to say that it looked as good as a regular 2D show. I would have preferred the show in 2D throughout. There's no doubt in my mind that I would have preferred it. But it really, I almost noticed it less. It's been so long since, what has it been? It's been like 5 years since we watched Land of the Lustrous.
It's been a
together,
while.
guys.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. Holy shit! How old are we?
I don't want to
like,
say.
I'm still the youngest right now.
I'm
so.
not doxing myself.
I think that'll stay that way too.
Yeah,
I
I think so. I think that's the way that age works.
Yeah. But like, it's weird to think about that. Like, that CG was so good that like it did not feel like CG at certain times. But then those performances, I mean, the second it's like it would like flash cut too to like from like, oh, a scene where they're walking on the stage or doing the drum sticks to get started, and then it would cut and it's like, oh, we're back in a freaking shitty JRPG scene, like cutscene or something. Like god damn it. And
We're back in Valkyria Chronicles.
yeah, oh god.
I
Yeah, that's the way I looked at it, at least. But again, it's not, even those scenes though weren't like horrific. They just were like CG, and I hate CG. It's a waste of the medium, you know.
I just pulled up the 11 insert song so that I could refresh what it looked like. And the scene where her dad is watching her on like the stream, like he's at
Yeah.
home watching while they're performing. Apparently, I'm seeing here that someone commented, and it's true. The his ashtray is gone from the table,
Oh, that's
so like
awesome.
he listened to her about cutting back on
I'm
smoking.
smoking.
Yeah,
There's so many little things like Eagle
Yeah,
posted in
there's, like-
Discord. There's so many
Yeah.
little things that this show does where like if you
so
wanted to,
much.
there's so much detail that goes into the show. Shout out to Eagle for all that shit he posted. That was so cool.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So for me personally, like with the CGI, this is actually honestly, in my opinion, a positive for the CGI. Like in real time, like in the current day of the show where it's where like people are acting out and people are like talking to each other. All of that is in CGI, but the flashbacks are hand drawn, and that's one of the things that I thought was really
In this show,
yeah.
the flashbacks were in CG too.
I'm looking at it, and I think it depends on the flashback.
Okay.
Yeah, like the flashbacks from Momoko, like when she was like starting with Diamond Dust, those were all in hand drawn.
You're right. They were.
There's also like
I was thinking of Nina's. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
there's also like a random like 2 or 3 characters that for whatever reason are like drawn in 2D, and I couldn't figure out what the reasoning for that was. Like, you
Yeah,
remember the
Maybe
guy
it's like
that
a late edition or something, and like
Maybe.
they had the
maybe.
models done, or I don't know how animation
but
works.
yeah, because like it was, you remember the first club they performed at, there was the random like orange haired guy, not the host of the club or the owner of the club that likes them,
The
but,
lead
like,
band or whatever, right?
yeah, he
Yeah.
like comes onto the screen and he's in 2D and they're in 3D, and that also was kind of like just why, what the hell? And then they didn't do it again for another like 5 episodes, and then there was another time where
I think that's
a character was like 2D. That's got to
'cause
be
Eagle
miles set.
Eagle posted something in Discord where in the last episode, like every character that made a cameo was at the concert. So I feel like it was in order to put people in the show so then they could be a cameo in the last episode.
It's interesting.
I feel like it's like a production thing where like originally it wasn't, but then they're like, okay, we're gonna cameo them at the end, so then we have to go back and put them in like 2D or something. I feel like that's what happened. Speculating, but that would make sense in my brain.
But yeah, like
because it would, if you're just doing that one scene, it's probably easier to 2D them in than to like make the 3D model for them.
Go back and do it, yeah.
Yeah.
but one of the things that I really enjoyed about oh yeah, yeah,
Like someone draws like literally like a stick figure or whatever, just like
yeah. One of the things I loved about the CG was that it was like Pat said, it was very expressive, and it felt a lot like even Land of the Lustrous is like a 10 for me, and I love the CGI in it. It's super well done, but even there, it didn't feel uh as poppy to me as here, like where like I'm remembering Subaru like smiling at certain points where her face just like pops for a second. And yeah, like kind of like that. And it's so much more expressive in that way that it I don't think I don't think that it would be as well received for me personally if it was done in 2D personally, because it was so much more, because they did a lot of good things with it, and it felt so, it was done in such a creative way that I think turning it back into 2D would actually take away from it.
I think would depend on the quality of the 2D animation. I think that I would like it more if it was like absolutely insanely animated, crazy Sakuga, you know, like.
Yeah.
But that probably wouldn't have happened. So, like, I do like the choice. But Cal, you're supposed to be negative here. This whole point,
It's
that
tough.
section
Oh
is to be
no,
negative.
I said CGI so that Pat could be negative.
Okay.
I wasn't
Well,
gonna be negative.
there was one scene I didn't like, and unfortunately, Pete
Oh,
liked that scene.
I do have a negative thing that I thought about it.
Okay, it's the swinging the lamp scene.
Peak
I
fiction.
thought that was stupid.
Oh,
You're
no.
It was
stupid.
so dumb.
That shit was so fun.
It's like the one scene that isn't grounded in any way. She just like attempts to commit felony assault for some reason.
She wasn't gonna hit him.
We don't know that. Nina's off the wall crazy.
That's true.
It did feel kind of out of place, but at the same time, like it did bother me like so much.
It didn't
You know,
really
like,
bother me that much either, but it felt more like a Bochi bit than like
Yes.
anything else in the show. And as we've established, that's a worse show. So
I put it on par with the truck scene. It's just like it's quirky and fun. It lasts like 3 seconds and it's like
the
it's
truck
over.
scene is quirky and fun.
It was super fun. The actual spinning thing was very fun, and then it got serious, and then
The truck scene.
where she like
Oh,
where
oh,
Nina goes
I
out
thought,
in the rain.
I thought you were going back to Blue Giant. For a
No,
second.
that's
I was like,
oh, the scene where the guy almost got killed. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
hilarious.
That was
So quirky,
hilarious.
so fun,
It was
I
so- it was
love
so
involuntary
interesting.
manslaughter.
an absolute
was-
blast. I hated that character. I actually deducted points because he didn't finish the job. No,
the,
with
the scene where he did die and then came back to life
Yeah.
because there's no way you survived that accident. Yeah, no.
Okay, Pete, you said you had a negative thing.
controversial take. Episode 13, the final performance. I thought the usage of piano was bad. I thought it was overpowering, and I did not like that song.
I don't
Okay.
even.
There we go. That's
I
my
don't
only. That's my
remember
only
it.
negative thing about say.
Okay. With that, I will also say something and piggyback off of that. The last song was a little bit too upbeat for me. Like it was a little bit more. It felt a lot closer to like. It felt a lot more in the major scales where it was a lot more like happy and like a happy ending type of song, and I didn't really like that. I enjoyed a lot
Did that
more of
match
the.
like what they were going for?
It did sort of match the.
Like
But I don't
what
care.
kind of
I
song
don't-
did you want them to finish with?
I don't know. Just
It
that
matched everything that happened the seeds before.
it does. I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm just saying I wish it was a little bit more I wish I had a little bit more strife in the song.
But
Look,
why?
I
I'm so
you know, because
confused.
being sad is cool, Pete.
But like the whole scene wasn't sad. It was happy.
Yeah. But do you think anyone who sings these songs about being sad once they've made it, you know what I mean? Are they actually sad? No.
I would actually say yes.
Yeah, some of them are. It turns out.
Yeah. Turns out money can't buy everything.
Rest in peace, Chester.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
Audio Slave, like Soundgarden. I guess it's the same person.
yeah, a lot of. You know what? It turns out.
Yeah, it
people
turns
sing
out-
a lot of songs about being really sad. Maybe.
Ooh.
Maybe they're actually sad.
Can I
Yeah.
transition this into my question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Speaking about songs, I don't think anybody cares our opinion on the show. I think everybody cares our opinion on the OP. Need to know your guys' thoughts on the OP.
Oh, fucking amazing.
This is my OP of
Like-
the year very easily so far.
Yeah. Because, so personally, like from a musical perspective, I love the fact that that Nina or Rena, who like the person who's singing, she uses her vocals as a second like drum track, as kind of like the double time of the drums. I love that it's so percussive at the beginning, and then it kind of slows down, and then she goes into a melodic performance and kind of pushes forward the song along with the rhythm section. I love that. I also love the way that the bass is, and this is kind of like the principle of being a bassist. You play when you're needed and you don't play when you're not needed. And I love the way that it's performed there, because it's not super overbearing. Like, it's not like Flea, rest in peace. It's just really, really well done. And then I also love the contrasting piano and guitar, where they're clashing a tiny bit, but it's like adding to the song. Anyway, I also love the OP, but yeah.
I skipped it every time.
Damn.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. It's like, it's not because I didn't like it. It's more like I was just like, I don't care.
You heard it
I'm
once.
gonna watch. Well, I heard it once. I was like, oh, this is good, and then it was kind of like, all right, that's all I needed to do. And I binge watched this like I do most of our Watch Club shows too, which might have hurt the desire to listen to the OP that much. I'm gonna go back and listen to it though, because the fact that it's sneaking in everyone's OPs of the year kind of surprises me. From the
Oh, you
like
should not be surprised.
the one time I listened to it, and then every time I listen to the final 10 seconds of it, because like skipping
The
the right time is
animation on
hard.
it like also goes hard. Like, I guess like in my opinion, like one, it's mostly done in 2D. There's like a few scenes that stand out to me. When like the water goes over Nina, at like the beginning of it, I think that's done really well. Tomo, like when they zoom in on Tomo playing the piano, I don't know, always did that. There's a scene where Momika like steps on what would be the camera, and then it
I
like
hated
cuts
that
to a
scene.
different thing. Oh, I love that. I think it gets the vibe of the band like super well, right?
I don't dislike that she steps on the camera. I dislike the way that she does it, because it doesn't feel forceful.
Maybe, I
Like,
don't know. I like the marionette scene a lot. I don't know. I just like
oh,
all
I
the
love
visuals.
that way.
Yeah. And then like when it like cuts to like the line art of Nina, like they switch that to like a neon red, and then everything else goes black.
Yeah.
I think is like really cool. I like the opening like a lot.
Well done.
Yeah.
Good job, guys. Good
Yeah.
job coming full circle.
Pete,
Well,
no, what does Pete think? He has thoughts here.
Yeah.
Oh, does he?
Yes, I do. I'm kind of with Miles. This is my number 2 OP of the year so far. Like I think I skipped it once just because I was like getting tired and I wanted to finish an episode. But I also tried listening to the song on like 1.5x speed, and it's also it adds like another element to it. I really like listening to it fast. So
Girls Band Cry OP.
You should try it on 2x.
That's
Pretty
too
fun on
fast.
2x.
That's too
No,
fast.
it was fun. It was fun.
2x is way too fast for me. But 1.5 was like a really fun like re-upping or re-changing the song to like a different type of format. So yeah, I love this OP. It does remind me of like, you know, like I think music shows really need to have like a really good opening. I think it sets the tone for like what we're going to dive into, and
I think they could
this
have
OP
a
is
good
great.
D too, because like I don't really care about the K-On! OP, but like Don't Say
Yeah.
Lazy is fucking fire.
Don't see.
Um,
Well, the first one's about like eating cake, so it's like,
Yeah.
it's
yeah.
whatever. And then yeah, Don't Say Lazy comes. It's like, oh, don't say do no crazy. Yeah, the shit's banger. Just have good music in your music show. How simple is that?
Yeah, no, it's Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, huh? Bang Dream.
Fuck Bang
What are you
Dream.
doing, Bang
Yeah.
Dream?
And when we say fuck Bang Dream, we don't mean My Go because we haven't seen it, and I need to preference that.
You know what?
Well,
Fuck My Go.
Whoa!
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 Can't
I
believe
like
you
it. I
did
like
that,
that take.
Miles.
Um,
I'm sure I'd like it.
Yeah, I'm sure
I
you
guess-
really like it.
one final hot take here from me, I guess, around this. You guys are all cowards because you guys just spent the last like 15 to 20 minutes talking about how the music was really good, the OP was really important to a show. You don't care about the animation, even if it's 3D, if it's okay, like as long as it's like serviceable and the cute interactions of the characters and stuff. Can I introduce you guys to this wonderful show that's made in the United States? Goes by the name of
No.
RWBY.
Big sleep. Big sleep.
It is everyone who preaches about how great this show is and then refuses to give RWBY a try beyond the first episode loses me. You've lost me. You've lost the sauce. It's the same. It's the same show. No, it obviously isn't, but it really is similar enough. Like the vibes I got from their chemistry and the way they talk to each other. I was just sitting there, and also because they look like 3D.
Pete is
Yeah,
committed
Pete's
to this.
just dead. He's really committed to this. They like
Wait.
it felt the same as RWBY to me, and that's why I'm one of the reasons why I probably liked it a lot. You know, like it was very like felt homey for me right away.
Can
Like
Really quick. Kat, do you mind going after me?
Sure.
Because, look, RWBY, huh? Everyone who likes Girls Band Cry, right? We got like Veronica and Eagle and other people in our Discord, and they love
he had to
this show.
scratch himself while he's.
They are so good, right? They're like, you need to watch the show. This is the perfect show. Nina's the best. Whoever's the best. I love every character. I love everything about the show. I've never heard a RWBY fan be like, I like RWBY. They're always like,
Oh yeah, it's like a 6. It's like a 6.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're always
No.
like, I hate the show. I wish I
No,
didn't
but when it's
care
good,
about
it's good. It's good when it's good. It's really
You
good.
sound like a One Piece fan right now, Pat.
No, I know I do, but RWBY will take you 6 hours to watch the entire thing of. One Piece would take you what 9 months or whatever it would be in a row of watching. Like
forever.
no.
I'm never gonna watch it.
Most
Yeah,
of my high
exactly, me
school
too.
life. Yeah, I know.
Honestly, higher chance that I watch RWBY than that. You should have done
Nice.
RWBY instead of the Violet Evergarden movie for Shark Tank.
You know, would that have counted as an anime?
What you can do whatever the hell you want. It doesn't matter.
That's true. We
it
make
was-
the rules around here, don't we?
Yeah, it was my game. You could have done whatever you wanted. You could have paid Pete $200 to do it. But I'm like currently watching. I've had like one episode of the RWBY anime to watch for like the last 3 years. I just haven't ever built up the will to do it.
To finish it, the last one. The last one was actually pretty fun. It
Yeah,
got
I'm at
delayed,
11.
right?
I have 11 and 12.
Okay.
I have left. And I've
The la-
heard it does give it, but like 7 to 10 got there. Anyways,
It's easily like 7. It's a 7 out of 10 for me, but it really should be like a 6. It was not the anime wasn't.
oh, I
good.
meant the
I'm
episode.
talking the show though too.
Yeah.
Okay?
No, that's my problem with RWBY is not the animation. It is that I've never heard RWBY fans say good things about RWBY.
Okay, good peaks, really high peaks, really low valleys, and that's what frustrates me the most. The inconsistency of it.
So,
Wake
for
up,
me-
Pete.
We're done.
Well,
Sorry,
no,
Kat,
we're
go
not
ahead. Did
done
you have
yet.
something? Oh, we're not done
Yeah.
yet? All right, go back to
Yeah.
sleep, Pete. Sorry.
back-
Go ahead,
yeah.
Kat.
Got a good nap in there. I'm not even kidding you. I was getting tired.
I can tell. You went from
I got comfy, bro.
thinking for a bit, and then you start
Yo,
scratching yourself.
my chair is torn the fuck up, but it is comfy as shit. I love my chair. Oh man, that's a good nap.
So the thing about it is like, hey Trent, do you mind when Pat says they're literally the same thing? Can you add in Ruby eating the cookies in, like, I think it was season 2?
He's not gonna go through all of that to find a clip for
It's
3
season-
seconds.
If you
It's
literally
season
just
1, episode 1,
slap
by the way.
Ruby
So
cookie, the first thing that comes up is a video of it. So
Right.
Okay,
It's terrible animation. They are
is
not the
so-
same thing.
your call, Trent.
It's just
It says, hide them, eat them, throw them away. Regardless of what you do, those cookies will be mine. Huh.
that's not from the show.
No.
But by season 7 or 8, it gets or not even by like season like 4, the animation starts to look, I would say, pretty similar to not Bang Dream, Jesus. Girls Band Cry. The background art is not the same by any means. I'm not saying it's animated the same, but I was more just saying
I
like
got what's up.
3D girls
I'll post
sticking
that.
around together, having a good time, good witty banter, really sick music that fits the same kind. It's a little more metal than this music is, but otherwise it's very similar music. It's all rock. Like you, there is more there that you may enjoy than people are giving you credit for, I think, or giving Ruby credit for. So again, I say that as someone who is a notorious Ruby person, I guess. I don't even
You're a
know.
stan.
Am I a fan? I don't know if I'm a stan or not. Like,
oh my god, yes you are.
Yeah.
Stan ended up hating Eminem too. It's just important.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Please heed our warning, Miles. Well, not you, Miles. The other Miles that writes for Ruby. Make it better, please. Thank you.
Or someone will kill their fiance. Much like in the song Stan.
Yeah.
All right. I thought so. Yeah, that was obviously well, not full bit because I do actually like Ruby, but and think more people should watch it. But that's all I had negative really for it. Like at least like specific things, like things that like were notable to me. I do wish we got more of the other characters' backstories, but I see why they like the directorial decisions that they made to not show them, or I don't know if they're planning for a second season.
We could
Like,
get it.
They said that they're making more content, but I really just think that they're just going to make more music. But as a
Yeah.
group, I don't think that we're getting a second season.
Yeah, because like
Even though
I
it's
could
just
see them.
crazy popular, like crazy.
Is it that big? Well, okay.
Oh, when I went to like Animate and stuff like that, it was like Bochi and Girls Band Cry were like the forefront of like most things. It was nuts.
Yeah, it's getting like the high scale figure run,
Yeah.
right? Like the $200 figures.
But it makes sense because like Bang Dream is insanely popular over there. So like if it's something similar to Bang Dream, it's gonna print money.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
like a season 2. I
I
think
would
there's
love
room
a
for it.
season 2.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
Like Subaru's plot point. I guess like so like my example would be like I didn't mind like Rupa being Brucey's.
The goat.
No, I didn't sneeze. Good job, Pat. No, Rupa's backstory being like what Miles talked about earlier, where it's like it was hinted at and talked about, but never really fully directly mentioned or flashed back to. I thought that was really well done. The fact that they established Subaru's relationship with her grandmother, I really would have liked to have seen her say it to her in person or have that scene where they talked it out and expressed what they feel to each other. I feel like that was maybe not lazy, but that was just like, why didn't they put that in? That feels like a no-brainer.
I agree with
to
that.
me. So that was frustrating, but again, and maybe they do that later on in the show or something along those lines. But that like again, those are like minor complaints. They're not like major knocks. I would say for the show, if that makes sense. Did anyone else have anything else similar though? Any other little nitpicky bullshit things?
Not really. My only problem with this show, of like why I gave it my rating, is it came out in the same season as Jellyfish Can't Swim Tonight, and I just resonated way more with that show than with this. And so that's when we get to our final thoughts. That's kind of like why I gave it the score that I gave it.
Do we have anything else we want to talk about before final
Um,
thoughts?
I think we're long on time, aren't we?
We're at 70 minutes.
Yeah, I think we should wrap up, and I think that there's a lot in the show that we didn't even get to talk about like the diamond dust in them. Like,
I think we should
Yeah.
talk about that.
okay,
I think we can
let's-
we can run a little bit longer.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about it.
We started late too because of me. So
Yeah.
um,
What did you guys think about that?
I loved it.
Ooh.
I love.
Yeah,
I love the contrast of Momo with them going to go pro, that they were going to have to more than likely drop out of high school. And so when they had the opportunity to start making real money by switching up like their look, I think that made perfect sense of why those other three girls stayed with Diamond Dust and Momo left. And then taking in Rupa, or it's not Rupa, sorry, Hina, the idol singer. I wish it took in Rupa, that'd be funny, but like taking Hina as like the idol front lead of it,
what
I
a
think
heel turn from Rupa.
that'd be
that would
insane.
Like
That
episode
would
8, she's like, "I'm the new singer for Diamond Dust."
Mhm.
Fuck you.
that would be insane.
So, but like, I thought like how the logistics of how Momo went from like Diamond Dust to this band, how Hina went from being like, I guess it's like hinted that she was like an idol to being a front leader for a band. I thought that was all fantastic. But like with Diamond Dust, I love the end scene where Hina is so engraved with the song that Momo wrote, and the whole time he was like, the song was for me. It got me through all of this. It got me through my hardest struggles. Like, and then realizing this song doesn't belong to me. It belongs to anybody who connects to it. And Hina also was that person. So like, I thought they kind of like wrapped up everything by the end of it, and just the conflict, the feuding between the two bands, I thought was just like really fun. Like the battle of the bands of them like doing like the pinkies at each other, and the setup was just I loved it. Yeah, but it's still just for the bit. It's fuck Diamond Dust all day, every day. Cat, go ahead.
Yeah. For me, I loved the way that Diamond Dust was put out to be the villain. Is specifically, I love the way that they kind of slowly hinted at Hina being like the bully in the background, or possibly one of the bullies, because it always kept hinting at someone. And then when Hina was finally there, it kind of showed how kind of terrible kind of a terrible human Hina was, for being like, hey, you did the right thing, fuck you for doing the right thing. And I love the way that Nina was able to come around and understand that it belongs to everyone, like Pete said. But yeah, loved the rivalry of between Toge and Diamond Dust. So
Hina was kind of a bitch. Like, why did Nina forgive her at the end?
don't
I
think-
get
I don't think
why.
she forgave her.
I don't think she forgave her. I think she moved on
Yep.
from holding the grudge.
Okay,
Um,
I would still hold a grudge if I were Nina. That's just me. Because like she was not a good person to me. Or well, if I am Nina, she was horrible to me. Like
Yeah,
absolutely horrible. What a horrible human being she is. I hope she like gets kicked from the band. Yeah, like really, like what the hell? Like what she's saying about the bullies, and like they were right. Like, oh my god, it's
well, she
horrible.
wasn't saying the bullies were right. She was saying she was right.
She was
Yeah.
right
So-
for not intervening, I guess.
Correct.
Well,
Yeah, which is a bad thing to do.
Right. Sorry,
I'm
thank you,
not
Miles.
defending her. I'm just clarifying her action. Is all. Because she basically was just like, "Hey, Nina, nice job on doing the right thing. That was pretty dumb of you."
Yeah.
I kind of told you so. And that's like not what friends should do when your other friends are getting bullied, you know? Maybe defend them a little bit, you psycho. And I don't think Hina's ever gonna, I don't think they're gonna be best friends or anything, but I think Nina just sort of realized that, like, Hina's not currently being a villain to her, because I think Nina took it, like, very personally that Hina took Diamond Dust from her. And that's not what Hina was trying to do in any capacity. And I think Diamond Dust in general is very supportive of whatever the hell our band is called. With the random T-shirt name, I can't ever remember it.
TT, just
Okay,
say
okay.
TT.
Yeah, okay. Because they named it after a T-shirt,
Yep.
and that doesn't go as hard as Diamond Dust, which is like a top 1 reagent in Dungeons and Dragons. Um,
Yeah.
like all of the early members, like, still really caring about Momoka and stuff, I thought was great, and like wanting to compete against each other and push each other to be better and stuff, I thought was like really good. Again, you get this sort of twisting of expectations based on the lens that you're viewing it through, um, where because of what happened to Nina with like Hina and everything, she sort of views other people in like a less than ideal light. And she was totally correct to do that for Hina. Fuck Hina. But, other people did deserve a little bit more benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, that final arc too. Like, I thought it was a cool insight into what an agent can do for you,
Agreed.
and how they work together, especially as someone that literally is an agent for talent. Like, they were and admitting that they were wrong, or how they were leveraging tools that they had that they wouldn't have had otherwise if they were independent. However, the negatives of that too, like there was the give and the take on it. I thought that was really cool how they did that. I didn't love the final, like, the way the final battle was set up. I guess, like, it felt um maybe not quick, but I don't know. I was kind of not a fan of that, but I was a fan of the agent stuff, and then them ending up having the conflict. If that makes sense, I probably doesn't, but
Well, it got set up for them to lose, which is sort of why
right,
it was quick. But, they were like, fuck it, we ball, which
Yep.
is like their entire attitude. So,
ball up top. Yeah. Oh, that's too niche a Twitter reference. My bad. Yeah, but like, I was kind of like expecting like a miracle or a David and Goliath. I think they even reference that in the show, like David and Goliath
yes.
moment or
Like,
whatever.
I'm glad that didn't happen, though. Like, because
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
portraying how they're taking like a harder road to like not be as poppy as these other groups, and that isn't gonna magically make people like you more, even if you're being a little more true to yourself, is like a good message, because they're showing that it's not impossible, but it is harder, and that's kind of the reality, right? Like, I think it would have been weird for the show to show like the struggle of doing all of this stuff and then have them crush the much more popular group.
for sure.
Especially because they don't have a reincarnated Chinese general on their side.
Yeah.
And if they did, maybe they could have beat Diamond Dust.
The second Kongming reference.
Yeah.
That is a great
That
show.
raises the question, though. Would you guys sell out for the podcast, and if we
Yes.
just become like a One Piece podcast?
Oh, for the podcast?
Oh,
No,
absolutely.
not the podcast.
Even if you got the bag?
If money's involved, absolutely.
Yeah, for the bag, would you sell out and be like a pure Battle Shonen podcast?
No, because I've sold out and have the bag in my career.
Oh, okay, that is
This
very true.
This
I
is
was
me not
thinking that
having the
too.
bag.
Yeah.
For those of us who don't have the bag, I
Yeah.
would absolutely sell
I'm with you, Kat. Miles is Momo. Miles is out of What Do You Say Anime. He'll start his own podcast, and then
Yeah.
Like as soon as we take a BetterHelp sponsorship, I'm out.
Guess what? Next episode
you
we're gonna be
wanna
talking
work
about
with
the
them?
Rock Lee fight, and then the one
Don't
after
want to work
that,
for them. No.
we're just gonna keep talking about the Rock Lee fight every episode, baby.
I will.
Really good
I
fight,
guess
though.
I'm trying to think of like what YouTube sponsors I would do.
Manscaped.
Probably Manscaped. It's a razor. Sure.
NordVPN.
Would you do Raycon?
No. I'd have to.
I would veto Raycon.
Okay,
personally.
Cat's vetoing Raycon.
Raycon is a shit headphone.
What's the blue pill that gets not Viagra, but the Blue Chew chewables?
Oh
And
yeah.
Hims? Would you do Hims?
Hims or Blue Chew, Miles?
Oh, that's like a hair keeping thing.
No,
right?
it gives you
Hair
boners,
keeping,
right?
ED. It's hair keeping, ED, and something else.
Okay.
Hims
It's
does
like
like all
men's stuff.
pharmaceuticals. It's all men's pharmaceutical, like
Oh.
stuff like that. Now they grew. They
Would
did
you take
start.
boner pills, Miles?
Would I?
Sorry,
Oh,
do you
would you?
still take boner pills, Miles?
Would I ever?
Now we're talking.
I can't tell that story on the podcast.
Okay.
This What Do You Say Anime podcast was brought to you.
Story.
This What Do You Say Anime podcast episode was brought to you by DraftKings. If you put $5 down, you get $5 in bonus bets.
That's what would break us up, because like I am generally anti-gambling, and Pete is like.
I wouldn't even read the contract.
Pete's like, gambling is not only not a, it is a virtue.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, that is kind of, and meanwhile, I'm in the middle.
Life-
I like watching people gamble.
Life
but I
is
don't
better
wanna do
with
it.
money on the line. You should be gambling at least 4 times a week on something.
Yo, what the fuck?
Minimum.
And honestly,
minimum.
it's more exciting if you gamble money you can't afford to.
Thank you. Yes. Oh my God, the thrill. Yo, if you ever been on a 3-team parlay and you hit 2 of them and you're waiting for the third, there's no better rush, my man. No better
I've done
rush.
one bet in my life with like the free money that whatever gave me, and I did like a 5-leg parlay, and I hit like 4 of them, and then the 5th one just got completely undone.
Yep.
But there was like 20 seconds where I was like, I'm gonna win $1,000.
Right.
And I did not.
That's
Instead, I lost $0 because they gave me money.
1-800-GAMBLER if
Yep.
you
Do we have to-
need any help.
Let's be sponsored
with
by
setting
both.
good parlays. You know.
Like every state too, right? Like, because like all the states have their own. That's like my least favorite part of football podcasts.
Yeah.
Where it's like in California, in Michigan, in whatever, and just they go through every
Yeah.
state in their own fucking helpline. Anyways, let's do our final thoughts.
Yeah.
Unless
Yeah.
someone has something to wrap up.
Yeah, sure. Well, Miles, why don't you start us off with our final thoughts brought to you by Chipotle.
Ooh, I'd be
Eat
down with
fresh.
I
Eat
am not-
fresh.
That was bad. That's me showing my
Would you guys do Raid Shadow Legends?
Yeah, 100%.
yes. Oh, they pay
Raid Shadow Legends
so
pays
good.
a lot.
Yo,
Yeah.
I'll keep it a bean. Unless you're the government of Israel, I'm taking every sponsorship, my man.
You're working with Russia?
If you're
Government of
not
Russia.
the government of Israel.
Pete doubles down.
I know what I said, Pat.
Mr. Bond, you're a 20.
This just in: Zelensky spotted walking out of a random Minneapolis apartment with a bat covered in blood.
It's a duplex.
The first Omicron case. Is there a connection?
Got
We
off the
made
rails a little bit
international
here.
news twice. We did,
Yeah,
but we're having a fun time.
yeah. What are your
um,
closing thoughts, buddy?
Yeah, I really like the show. Talking about the show with you guys sort of like made me like it even more. Just like noticing small details and stuff, and like hearing how people related to things except for Pete because he's a monster. But I don't know. I just think there's so much to love about this show. I think that all of the characters are good. Nina is, I think, super. Like everyone's been Nina for some period of time where you just sort of feel like everything's stacked against you. And like it's neat to see someone like work through that and stuff in such like a realistic way. I don't know if I'm just like high off the potential Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship that perhaps we'll be getting after this episode. But I'm gonna give this a 10. I fucking love this. I think
Wow.
it's great. Yeah. I don't know. Just like we kept talking about it, and then I was like, I like everything about the show. And then like people pointed out things, and I was like, I didn't even think about that. I fucking love that. And it's great. I just think it sort of really encapsulates the time in my life where I was like just out of school, living by myself, trying to, make it as a band member or a chemist, one of those two things, and just
Apples
sort
and
of
oranges.
the thing there, and also the OP is so fucking good.
It's so good.
So yeah, that's me. I don't know. I think it's a 10. I think it's great.
10 out of 10. Wow, good start. Kat, what about you?
Yeah, so earlier I said that this show may be better than Bochi, which you guys know I have it at 10. Uh, but I will have to knock the show on one thing. The drumming in the show is a little bit less accurate than I'd like it to be. So so during the Diamond Dust song, and I think it was episode 11, you can see the drummer of Diamond Dust playing the drums, but it's typically when it's playing their songs, they're trying to hide the drums. Like with the guitar and things like that, it's a little bit harder to see like the fingering techniques that they're using and exactly what they're doing. But with the drums, it's kind of hard to disguise when somebody's hitting a snare when a tom sound is happening. Like that's a little bit different. So one of the things that they try to do is they try and like cut to Subaru when she's like doing a roll and going down the tom so that it's a little bit harder to see. But you can also tell that sometimes the actual the paradiddles and the hand techniques are a little bit off because of what's happening there. Anyway, a lot of technical drum talk. Anyway, other than that, it's a 10.
Okay.
It was a 10? Sorry?
Yeah,
That
it's a
all
10.
that for a 10? Okay.
Drumming
This show
enough.
bad.
sucked at
Everything
animation.
good.
10.
10.
typical Cat.
Yeah.
It's like
I saw it was like,
here's a criticism I didn't get to. 10 out of 10.
all right, Few, what about you? What have you got?
Love the show, love the music. One of the best casts this year, one of the best OPs this year. There's so many things that stood out to me that I loved about Girls Band Cry. I like the mix of being serious and quirky, but also just having like I'm so prone to fucking gremlin characters. Nina is an S tier gremlin. Her and Mitsumi should make a gremlin guild and start recruiting other gremlin characters from anime and then just take over the world. Love the show. I mentioned earlier, it came out during the season where I connected with Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night a little bit more, which I know is something similar to Girls Band Cry. So because of that, I give that show a 10. I'm gonna give this a 9. I really like the show.
Okay.
Alrighty. And I think I said everything I wanted to about the show. I was somewhere between an 8 and a 9, but I leaned towards 9 before we recorded, and now I'm very confident in that 9. I feel very good about it after our discussions. Like Miles said, I think it only reaffirmed like how much I really did like this show and be able to relate to Nina, especially. I normally can't relate to the main characters in shows like these, and it was nice to finally be able to. And again, I do really want to shout out uh, Eagle for putting all this really cool behind the scenes epilogue, director's cut, whatever stuff, or like little hidden Easter eggs from the show that upped my viewing experience absolutely. So you earned the show a whole nother point as well, probably, because otherwise I probably would have had it like around an 8 or an 8-ish. But no, I'm going 9. So with that 9, that
New
brings our
record.
average. Yeah, I do wonder if having only 4 of us helped, but
It does, I think.
I think
Like,
Jay
Hey,
would give it a 9. I think I'd have to
Yeah.
double check.
that's where that was what my vibe would have been as well. But I guess that's my point too. Like by having only 4 of us, it's just one less chance for someone to really hate it or not like it. Because I feel like that's happened with a lot of our reviews that we've done for like Watch Club
Yeah.
or for anything
But
else.
even if Jay wasn't
But
here, the show would still be like a what, like a 9.2 or
yeah,
something.
it would be really high. And our
It would.
9.4s are, I think, also 4 people episodes with the Odd Taxi and Millennium Actress. So
There you go. That makes sense. But yeah, very good rating, obviously, for Girls Band Cry. That was a really fun discussion. Might be my favorite episode we've ever done. I think it's up there for me, honestly, with the discussions we had. I thought that was really fun. But yeah, let's get to what we're watching for our spooky, like the dogs on my shirt, spooky
Oogie.
Halloween episode. 2 weeks from now. So Miles, what won from the nominated shows?
Yes, we had a pretty tight race this week, um, with shows having 18, 19, 21, and 22
Damn.
points. Right? So like the spread from fourth to first was only 4 points. And Anime Snowpiercer coming in at a hot 10.
I wasn't sold on it anyway, so I don't care.
You
I picked
were
it. I
like,
picked it because Kat took the show that I was gonna nominate.
okay, so in third place, I believe we have said show with Tokyo Ghoul. In second place, we have High School of the Dead.
Ooh, close, Pat.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And in
Yet
first
again.
in first place, we will be watching Devil Man Cry Baby. So get ready for me to be really happy and everyone be really weirded out by that in 2 weeks.
I'm really excited to watch
This
it.
is gonna be, from what I've heard, this is probably gonna wreck
This
me
is actually
as
like a legit scary show too. So unlike Miracle Chat, which was at its moments, but like this show.
We've done Mononoke, Dora Hero, Miracle Chan, and now Devilman Crybaby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That's a gauntlet there.
Could have done High
Yeah.
School of the Dead, but some
Hey,
people didn't.
nom it
I
back,
voted
dude.
for it.
You got a legacy
Okay, I
point.
might. Well, I think it might have already had a legacy point too. Not that that would have mattered in the voting. I feel like last year it had to have won one.
So I don't have it on my list, and that doesn't mean that it doesn't, because Lord knows I am capable of making mistakes. But I didn't have it. I did check because everything was so close.
No, I mean even one legacy point would have mattered though. It didn't,
Okay.
or in
Yeah.
theory, right? So
Would have tied it,
uh,
wouldn't it?
Nope.
Oh,
One is
well,
half a point.
Oh, that's right. That's
So
right. That's
yeah,
right.
you would need 2 legacy points, and I guess I'm relatively confident it doesn't have 2. But
Yeah.
it definitely doesn't have to. I think if anything,
Okay.
it would have had one because I feel like I know I've nominated before, and people were like, "Oh, that'd actually be funny as fuck," and we nominated. But I whatever. I guess that. But yeah, so we'll be watching that Devilman Crybaby. I'm very excited to watch that, and then we'll be back to normal stuff. I guess nominate your favorite Thanksgiving anime for November 4th. Actually, no, that's Canada. No, that's not Canada Day. What am I saying? That's in June. I don't know. Nominate a normal show. Miles, go.
Miles, no go. Someone
I got
can't
mine.
go.
Miles, no. Cat,
no go.
or Pete, you go because you have yours. Why
Yeah,
not?
I'll re-up Rakugo Shinju.
Good choice. Good choice. All right, Cat. What about you?
Can I go last?
Oh my god, guys.
Oh my god,
We've
you
done
guys-
this before.
We've
I
done this
know
for
we-
5
I know
years.
we-
Not
Let's
only are you
prepare.
supposed to bring a show, but you're supposed to bring a backup.
That you are.
So there was a period of time in which I thought I was losing until some votes, and I was just going to do this again, but then I won.
You want me to nominate a show for you?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't either. I don't trust you. No, because then you can vote for it. No, that would be so
Yes.
cheap.
Yes.
I do wonder. Did Jay vote for High School of the Dead first overall?
Jay voted for High School of the Dead second overall.
So
looking
if
at-
I let him nominate it last week
and you
instead
voted
of,
for it first overall,
and I voted for it first, it would have won, or it would have tied at least.
unless he bumped Devilman up from third to second. Yes.
Oh, true. Hmm.
Okay, I'm just gonna re-up O Maidens, because that's a show I've nominated before that's gotten some legacy points, and I don't know. I need to think of something because time exists.
Yeah. All right. I'll go quickly too. High School of the Dead. Good showing, guys. Thank you for pity voting for me. I'm gonna ask for your vote one more time. Text stop to 88855 if you're sick of these messages, but please give it a shot. It would be a very funny episode. I think the discussions we would have would sound insane to someone who doesn't know the show, but they would be it would be so good. It would be so much fun, and it also the show is unironically really fun too. Please vote for it. Kat, what about you?
Yeah, I wanted to go last just to see Pete's reaction.
No, you didn't.
Uh,
You forgot.
yeah.
You're
No,
lying.
no, I had it.
No,
I'm
you
not
don't.
lying.
I've known you for years. You're lying to me.
You have known me for years, but also, I'm nominating 86.
You motherfucker. You motherfucker.
Okay, okay. This is
That'll-
a good week
That's
for
gonna be
me.
spicy. That
Cat finally learned how to pander to the Discord. This is a fucking moment for him.
Wow. All right. Well, those are the 4 shows we're nominated. Sorry, go ahead, Pete.
no, I was just saying. I guess if you guys want to hear why I gave the show a 6, you should nominate it or vote for it.
If you want to hear why
Or
I understand both Pat and Pete's perspective on the show and split their difference, vote for O Maidens the 7th season, and I'll tell you anyway.
I love Old Maiden.
There you go. Well done,
Yeah.
Miles. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, no, I really liked 86. So it would be I think there's a good split in the Discord, and I think that'd be a lot of fun. It'd be like Akudama Drive, but at least like more civil than that show.
I've never seen it, so this will be an interesting. This will be interesting where I fall.
Oh, you haven't seen 86 yet? Oh shit.
No.
Okay, cool.
It's also a show
I-
that I just love shitting on. I gave it a 6. I think it's fine. Like I just don't understand. It's like Chainsaw Man. I just don't understand why people think it's like the second coming of Jesus Christ. I think it's just like an okay show.
I think its floor is like a 7. That's why I don't understand your score. But like again, that's something we could talk about if you vote for it. So
CG
we'll get there.
Spider-Max, Pat. Duh.
Yeah, fair. That was my least favorite part of the show for sure. But good thing that's not the focus of the drama that is 86. But yeah, that wraps up our watch club for the week. Pete, go ahead.
I might vote for. I think I'm looking
go
at
ahead.
86 my first place vote now.
Yeah.
This was like when I nominated Angel Beats. Like, okay, we need to remember this, right? We need to have vote for a show that other people like that we personally don't like that we want to vent about, because I loved shitting on Angel Beats. It was great.
Yeah.
It was very fun.
Okay. Bring it in. Bring it. Ooh, okay. If you have made it this far and you want to support us, the best way to do so, like, comment, subscribe, leave a review on whatever platform you're watching or listening to us on. If you saw the movie Look Back, we just recently did a review on it. Check it out. Me and Cosette killed it. Otherwise, next week we will be bringing back the Mal review game, a fan favorite, a personal favorite for all of us. We love playing that game. Otherwise, if you're here for Watch Club in 2 weeks, we will be talking about the utter despair that is Devilman Crybaby. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye now.